Hi, my name is John, and today I'm going to demonstrate on how to cook and pick a prime rib. We're actually doing standing rib roast today. The difference between standing rib roast and prime rib is that prime rib is prime meat. This is a choice cut, and that's what most of you will probably get at the grocery store or whatever. Choice or select. If you're going to do select, I wouldn't waste the time. It's going to cost you $1 or $2 less a pound, but if you're going to go through the trouble of making it, you want choice or higher. Nothing of lower quality than that. When you pick one out, basically what you're looking for is the marbling. That's what you're paying for when you're buying choice meat. It's going to have more marbling than the other thing you're looking for as well is the meat shouldn't be red like a red dye. It should have more of a kind of a rosy color almost, not really a red color. And then when you choose one, depending on how many people you're feeding, this has the rib on it. The rule of thumb is that one rib feeds, you can see the ribs here, one rib feeds 2 people. So this has 1, 2, 3 ribs, so it should be enough to feed 6 people with even a few leftovers. The reason I like to use a standing rib is because you don't need a rack when you put it in your roasting pan. It has its own rack with it already, as far as that. Another really important thing that a lot of people don't do, and you need to do this with all your proteins, not just your beef, is you need to let it sit out for at least an hour before you pop it in the oven. Get it as close to room temperature as you can. Just make sure all your surfaces are clean, everything else, and you'll have no problem. There'll be no food poisoning, nothing like that. And when you're using a really good piece of meat like this, simplicity is the best thing. All these fancy rubs and everything else like that, basically, we're going to do it today, and all we're going to use is black pepper, salt, a few cloves of garlic, a little bit of garlic powder, and just a couple of bay leaves. And that's pretty much all we're going to do. And you're going to have one of the most lovely prime ribs you've ever made in your entire life. Okay, the ingredients you're going to need to do it is some olive oil. You're going to need a meat thermometer, some black pepper, and you want to use butcher, like a bigger, not a real fine black pepper, more of it's called butcher. It's not a real coarse, but it's kind of in between the coarse and the fine. And you're going to need 3 bay leaves. And on the black pepper, you're going to need about probably around 2 tablespoons of black pepper. Some salt. My favorite is sea salt. If you can afford it, go ahead and use it, because in my opinion, it's much better. Or a kosher salt would be fine. And you need about 2 or 3 tablespoons of the salt. 3 cloves of garlic, whole. These are not cloves. These are they're cloves. 3 cloves of garlic. 3 cloves of garlic. And the rule is that for every rib, 1 clove of garlic. So if you did one with 2 ribs, you'd only use 2 things of garlic. If you use 5 ribs, because these come out big, they have up to 7 ribs on each cow, you would have 7 pieces of garlic. And then about a teaspoon of garlic powder. Not very much, just a teaspoon. And then one of the other things that, if you can find it, is a kitchen bouquet. Now what this is you're going to massage the standing rib roast with a little bit of kitchen bouquet, and what it does is it caramelizes the outside. So, and if you can't find kitchen bouquet, you need very little of it. I mean, this is like a restaurant size, but they sell it in small bottles. If you don't have it, the 2 things you can do is a little bit of sugar on the outside, or you can also grind some real fine coffee and mix it with your olive oil, and it'll caramelize the outside. It's just little tricks if you can't find this, but this actually you can use it on a lot of things, chicken, everything else. So it's a good thing to have in your kitchen pantry if you can find it. We have taken the standing rib roast out of the oven, and we're letting it rest now. When you let it rest, what you want to do is go ahead and leave the thermometer in it, because sometimes a lot of the juice will come out when you pop the thermometer out. What you want to do is just get a big piece of foil, and you make a tent. Basically, it's a fancy word for just covering it. You just want to cover it. You want to let it sit for about 20 minutes.